Hello everyone, my name is Gideon Bradford and this is my presentation on the human ecological theory. The ecological theory focuses on the interaction and interdependence of humans. It also acknowledges how the components of human systems relate to one another. Our book mentions that individuals and their families should be examined within the context of their environment, which means they recognize that each family members relate to one another in some way. Yuri Bronfenbrenner is one of the well-known contributors of this theory. He said that there is a need for ecological validity in human development research. Bronfenbrenner based this theory around children and the child development. He looked at how children were affected by the multiple environments surrounding them, including the schools that they go to, the home that they live in, and the neighborhoods. There are four basic systems that make up the human ecological theory. They include the microsystem, the mesosystem, the exosystem, and the macrosystem. Microsystems are defined as the immediate environment of the developing person. An example of a microsystem would be um, if a child was the person that they were focusing on, their microsystems would be the family, school, or daycare center. Mesosystems are what links that exist between two microsystems. This is how everything interacts with one another. And exosystems are settings or institutions that aren't experienced directly by the child but affects his or her development. An example of this would be the parent's workplace. Macro systems are customs, attitudes, ideologies, values, and laws of culture in which a person lives. An example of this would be the laws that affect the person every day, such as the speed limits that we have to go by whenever we drive. Bronfenbrenner later examined the impact of genetic influences on development by introducing a process, person, context, and time model. These are the interchanges between an evolving person and the objects, persons, and symbols in the external environment. In Bronfenbrenner's book, Making Human Beings Human, Biological Perspectives on Human Development, he went from using the word ecology to using bioecology. There are a few definitions and concepts I would like to mention for the human ecological system, including the human ecosystem itself, which is defined as an organism that operates as a unit in interaction with its environment. The examples of this would be a family ecosystem, which contains a particular family systems that interacts with its environment. Next is a niche, which are patterns of stable sets of activities. Um, this helps provide functions for those within the niche so that they can adapt to the environment. Environment is what involves the physical, biological, social, economic, and structural surroundings for human beings and context for their environment. Next is autogenetic development, which represents the genetic part of the development or aging. Adaptation is the way in which humans modify their systems to alter their environments to obtain a particular outcome. This would be your values, decision making processes, actions, and selective perceptions. For example, if you want to move your family out of state because you feel like it'll be that way would be safer. This would be an adaptation because you are making an alteration to your environment and it's going to be a better outcome because of the situation. Needs are the requirements essential for survival, such as food, housing, just basically your basic needs for surviving out in the world on your own. Values is what is desirable, worthwhile, and proper. Basically, your goals in life, what you feel like is your desire and is worth being in your environment and how it will be a good outcome for you. Management is the process surrounding the distribution and utilization of resources essential for attaining goals. Decision making is the key aspect of family functioning. This is your solutions to whatever is going on in your environment. This is your solutions to solving that problem. Human development is what maturing persons go undergo as they differentiate themselves from their environment in increasingly complex ways. And lastly, the quality of human life and quality of the environment. The adequacy of basic needs and the attachments and the attainment of goals. This is how you are going to get your basic needs and how you're going to achieve your goals to make a better environment for yourself. Application of the human ecological theory to real world topics. I have mentioned the process person context time model earlier in this presentation, and today we are going to see how it is applied to two studies. There are two studies that have been used with this model to study diverse topics. The first researcher that used this model did a study on how poverty has a big impact on a child's outcome. They have noticed that not only does poverty have an effect on children, but it also the process of by which poverty occurs does also. They use this as a background to see how a parent's reliance on welfare during childhood impacts the child's life during their adulthood. The second study they used this model was about the effects that a parent's behavior has on a child's participation in competitive sports. They have discovered that it is not just the parent's level of involvement that matters, but it's the parents' involvement in their verbal supportiveness and whether the parents were empathetic with the children, showing them that they are proud of them during the sports and that they are always going to be there at their games and things, and the parents' knowledge of the sport. These two studies both have the same theoretical background because of the ability to address context, the usefulness in the research, program development, and the program evaluation. I really like the second study because to me, it shows more of the human ecological theory because a parent's involvement in sports is very important. And there could really be a reason why the parent isn't really involved in the child's sports competitive sports life because the parent could be working a lot and it affects them going to the game, and the child seeing that their parent is not there is gonna have lower self-esteem, or they would probably still work hard at what they do just to impress their parents and show that they really do like doing the competitive sports. Comparing the human ecological theory to other theories. I compared the human ecological theory to the family systems theory because they are both able to look at how families have an influence on the child's environment. Um, the family systems theory suggests that individuals cannot be understood separated from one another, but instead as a family. And the human ecological system does that as well. It not only sees a person as one individual, but it also sees the outcomes of the environment that they're in, including the family and the 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 child, the school that the child goes to, and both theories can help understand a family's huge impact on a child's life and can see how the family has an influence on the child's behavior in the school environment. Both theories can help a family understand what um, that is going through some tough changes as well. Here I have a movie clip from the movie Juno. I also provided the link to the video in case the video doesn't really work or cooperate with me. So the reason I chose the movie Juno because I feel like it has a great example of the four basic systems that are involved with the human ecological system, including the microsystem, the mesosystem, the exosystem, and the macrosystem. Juno's microsystem would be um, her father's involvement with another woman who is going to eventually become her stepmother, which has a big influence on her theory of relationships. Another one would be would be that because her father is in a relationship with another woman and not her mother, it causes her not to be open with the father of her child, which reflects how her family environment would be with her family with her baby father. Next up would be the mesosystem. I think that because she has that type of family environment, this has had a big influence on the reason why she is giving her child up for adoption. She never really had a mother figure, so she feels like she can't really be a mother figure for her child, so she is going to allow someone else to do that for her. The exosystem would be that the fact that the couple who are going to adopt her baby are getting a divorce because the husband feels like he isn't fit enough to be a father. And the macro system would be the culture's values about teenage pregnancy. I have chose this scene that we are going to be viewing now because she is confronting her boyfriend about taking another girl to prom. Well, he's not her boyfriend, but he is taking another girl to prom and she's confronting him about it because she feels as if he is taking someone else to prom because she is pregnant and it's clearly showing and he is embarrassed by it. The next movie clip I am going to use is from The Pursuit of Happiness. I have chose this movie because I thought it provided a great example of the human ecological theory because because the main character is searching for a job and he has no wife to help him take care of his son. It has a lot of impact on how it influences the son's behavior. In this particular scene, we see that they can't get into the hotel room that they were sleeping in. And all of their stuff have been moved outside. and he tries to open the windows. The windows are locked, so he can't really go in there and put his son to bed. His son finds out, and his son becomes very, very upset, and he starts to throw a fit and starts crying and things because he wants to go to bed in a comfortable, warm bed and have a good night's rest so he can go to school the next day. And because his father doesn't have the funds to keep living in a hotel or even pay the rent to live in an actual home, they have to leave and go to a homeless shelter or even sleep on a train. This movie is really, really great, and I would suggest that everyone sees it because it is a very influential movie, and it is a great way to see an example of exactly what the human ecological system is. Well, that is the end of my presentation on the human ecological system. I really hope that you all enjoyed the videos that I have provided, and I also hope that you really enjoyed the presentation that I did. I have learned a lot doing this project and while I was in class, and I have decided to teach you all as well. So I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you.